Hi, my name is Andrew Schuldeis. I'm the primary developer on Tunic.
So Andrew, what was it been like seeing the reception of your game when it released on Game Pass?
It was pretty wild. The emotional knot of, oh, we need to make sure that this is good and not horribly broken, and we need to press all the buttons at the right time. I sort of forgot that actual people were about to play the game, and reviews were about to come out, and people were going to actually talk to me about it. And it was astounding. It was wonderful. I can't really express it. It's knowing that people played it and they're saying the things that were the design goals from the very beginning, how it made them feel, that it was absolutely heart-swelling. Yeah.
Can you give the audience out there some perspective of the game and like how you don't know a game's going to be a sure hit when you're in the middle of a multi-year development?
Yes, absolutely. So I was 100% convinced for most of development that I had made a terrible mistake because it's just heaping sand into a big pile over and over again, and eventually you realize I've got this giant pile of sand. I don't know if it's good, and it just becomes a matter of finishing it. And yeah, I was thinking that maybe it would do okay, and just the fact that people have enjoyed it so much is truly wonderful.
Can you talk about what being on Game Pass opened up for you and your studio creatively and financially?
Yeah, so Game Pass is very, very cool because I think the experience of going to a video rental store in the 90s and being like, hey, this has got a cool picture of a fox with a sword on the cover of this NES game. I'm going to rent that. We don't really have that experience anymore, but Game Pass is a little bit like that, where you can just scroll through and the obligation is very, very low. It's sort of like a rental. Download this thing, try it out, see if you like it. And I hope that was the experience for some people, where they see this thing, like, oh, that looks cool, and then it just opens up into this world that they can explore and is more than what they were expecting. That's the hope, really.
Yeah, kids today don't know the pain of going to Toys R Us and buying a game with cool cover art for $60 and going home and having it be terrible.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's yeah, absolutely.
Was there anything in particular in the development of Tunic that was really difficult to nail down?
I think iteration was the thing that made it take so long. And so growing as a designer and a developer over the course of 7 years meant that I was constantly wanting to redo things that I had already done and learning what my own limitations were, both on the business side of things and the creative side of things, where I needed help. That was really challenging, and sort of coming up with a structure was something that was slowly evolving over time. I love working on 1 second long experiences, a nice animation or a flickering candle flame effect. The broader term, minute by minute experiences, I like that too. Level design, exploring a dungeon, great. Hour by hour experiences, it starts to get very hard. What is it like to craft an experience that spans quite a large amount of time? What is the beginning, middle, and end of this? Committing to that was really challenging.
In the early stages of development, difficulty has been a subject of controversy in the game design space. Talk about how you shaped that for your game, because it is difficult, but you also have accessibility options if it's too difficult for people.
Yeah, so part of the feeling, the desired emotional payload for the game is feeling like you're in a place you don't belong. Not fully understanding how the world works and feeling like you're just a little guy in a hostile world, right? And part of that experience, I think, is difficulty. Like, that's a tool in the design toolbox, is that, nothing makes you feel like you're in a place that you don't belong, like a horrible monster pummeling you. But not everybody's interested in that. And it turns out you can just add that option, and the people who are interested in using the option will, and the people who aren't interested in using the option, people who are really up for a stiff challenge, are not going to touch it. And so everybody wins, basically.
Inspirations when you were designing the game. A lot of people have said Zelda and Dark Souls, but what about you? Other inspirations for the behind the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent a lot of time flipping through instruction manual booklets, as you might imagine, as a kid. And I've come to realize, mostly in retrospect, that I think it was reading instruction manuals and not playing the games that helped like fire the imagination in this way, and imagining what Metroid 2 could be like. Even though I didn't play it, I was just leafing through the manual while someone else was playing it on a Game Boy, or getting hint books from the local library for games that I not only will never play, but didn't even know what they looked like. These are black and white prose paperbacks describing how to win at Nintendo games, and I have no idea. So your imagination just runs wild a little bit, and so I think that feeling of wonder was something that was instrumental in building this thing.
Now, what's next for your studio after this success? You're going to do more Tunic? You're going to do something else? Or what's going on?
I'm going to take a bit of a break, I think. It's been a year since launch, which is wild to me. It's sort of mind-boggling. But even now, I mean, it was a 7-year development cycle. I feel like I'm still in recovery mode. Working on some small stuff for fun mostly, but who knows. I do like games with secrets in it, so maybe there's another one in me at some point.
Does the massive success of this game kind of change the way people approach you? Do you have big businesses come to you about merchandising, transmedia, sequels, wanting to fund you? Like, has that opened any doors for you?
I mean, we've got some incredible merch right now. We've got Fangamer doing a physical release and some awesome plushes and stuff like that. There's a vinyl coming out sometime this year as well that I'm super excited about. So yeah, that's been really neat. And also, as many people have asked for, a physical version of the manual, which I can't wait to have it on my coffee table.
Any pressure on what's next after the success of this game? Do you feel it yet, or?
A little bit, because I feel like no matter what I do, I'm going to want to add secrets, and people are going to expect secrets. But next game, no secrets.